This video has been rated Gretchen Wieners. It's long because it's full of secrets. I normally don't like to film at night, but I'm wearing a Luna shirt and my hair is kind of, teen angst-tastic, maybe? Like it's the right amount of disheveled, or something. Hello Internet! Around here I go by Cat of Diamonds and welcome to my Fannish Reviews. I just finished reading Love Letters to the Dead by Ava Dellaira? Love Letters to the Dead is about a girl named Laurel who has to write a letter to a dead person as an English assignment at her new school. Laurel ends up deeply connecting to this assignment as her first letter is written to Kurt Cobain, who died young but also was her sister's favorite rock star. The first letter starting about 6 months after the death of May, we see a year's worth of growth in Laurel through letters to the other dead celebrities who happen to also die young. That being said, the book literally starts like, "Dear Kurt Cobain, Miss Buster gave us our first assignment in English today, to write a letter to a dead person." Many people, including myself, have likened it to Perks of Being a Wallflower, but for girls. We'll get to that part later. And for good reason, because the author of Love Letters actually was studying under the author of Perks, or something similar to that. I don't know. You can Google it. While I liked reading Perks of Being a Wallflower, I loved the movie so much more. I just felt the movie was a better way for me personally to connect to the story of Charlie. I liked the way the story was presented better. As I mentioned just before, I've seen people say that it's Perks for girls, and I have a problem with that because I'm pretty sure it's only because Perks has a boy voice and Love Letters has a girl's voice. Charlie, Laurel. But I think for me personally, I liked Love Letters better than Perks because Perks is more of letters being written to a stranger. You feel like he was assigned to do this as a therapy tool, whereas Laurel seems to be more like doing it as a journal or a diary, and she continues it for herself. It's not because anyone made her, and it's actually stated in the letters themselves, like, I'm actually not going to turn this assignment in, I'm just gonna keep writing to the... But with each letter she writes, it's actually to a different dead person, and they cycle through a few different dead people, so the content of each letter kind of has something to do with the specific dead person it's written to. And of course the thing that links everybody together is they died young, as well as May, Laurel's sister, dying young. At the beginning of this book, May is idolizing her sister, as well as these celebrities are idolized in the eyes of us as well as Laurel. And as she goes on Google or Wikipedia or whatever canon search engine is in this book, she learns more about them. She learns on the surface and then kind of delves more into and puts her take and her spin on what they were really like and tries to bring them into a light of human beings instead of just celebrities. As through the book we move from May, her sister, being this wonderful, glorious, perfect big sister who is the light of her life, and Laurel is no one and nothing without her sister, to her sister being a real, fallible human being. And I also think that because these are written almost like journal entry letters, we understand as the reader from the get-go that Laurel is an unreliable narrator. She is portraying her view of all of the situations, all of these tragic situations that are happening all around her, that she's broken and she's dealing with something within her. Her friends have things going on with their lives. Her family has broken bits of their lives as well. Everyone is dealing with something. And while in some books that feels like, oh look at all these things, everything is raining drama and angst, I liked how this came to play that in Love Letters, Laurel came to see that she is not alone in feeling broken, that so many people hurt around her, but at the same time, so many people are able to get past or deal with or heal from or understand their pain and keep going, that not everyone dies young. At first I wasn't sure I was going to make a video about Love Letters. I posted a pretty lengthy review on Goodreads, and when I do that I generally also don't make a video. But what's really important about me making this video is I wanted to include a trigger warning both in text on Goodreads and in a video format, that this book has so much tragedy in it. It's human tragedy. It is realistic human tragedy, and the thing is, that also includes trigger warnings. This book deals with rape, abuse, physical, mental, sexual abuse along different characters have to deal with different forms of it. There are GLBT issues. There are the regular issues of just being in high school in general. There's drug abuse. There's alcohol abuse. And while this abuse is heartbreaking, and when I closed the book my eyes were puffy from crying, I really enjoyed how realistic this book is. While yes, this book has faults, there are faults within it, the narrator is unreliable, there are situations that I don't know if they were presented correctly, I still think that it takes such an open and honest view. It takes on things that are real, that kids in high school and junior high do have to deal with. I think one of the best things about that is it brings this pain to an accessible and real place that even though it is heart-wrenching to watch some of these characters go through these things and make these mistakes and have these bad things happen to them, there is a light at the end of the tunnel with the way this book ends, but it comes at you from a very real place. And if I were reading this as a junior high or high school student, or even maybe a college student early on in my very beginnings of college, dealing with these very real issues that are big and hard to deal with when you're a kid, and you're hard to deal with when you don't know if you can trust the adults around you, or too scared to trust the adults around you, or don't have trustworthy adults around you, I think it was a great way to tackle these issues, or at least present them as something that is legitimate. It's okay to feel like the world is crushing around you and crashing down and breaking, and that it's okay for it to take a very long time to heal. That it is normal to not feel normal. That there is actually no such thing as normal, because everybody carries pain. That everybody's life is more complicated than what they show on the surface. I feel like that's the most important part of this book. So if you feel like you can read this book, because there are trigger warnings on pretty serious issues, not that graphic, if you've had something in this book that has happened to you and you feel like this would not help you, find help. I will link to helpful and safe places for you, but if you feel like you've had a point where you are healed enough to read about a fictional version of real events, or if you have someone that you just don't understand and you would just like a window into a perspective that might be like what they're going through, I just promise you will find a piece of you, whether you're in the situation now or if you have grown up and gotten better out of it. You can find a piece of your pain in this book, and I think it, I don't know how to finish it. This is why I didn't know if I could make this video. It's been a few hours since I finished this book, but okay, so I got a little emotional and I kind of wibbly-wobblyed away from the end of my video and the point that I was trying to make. So I hope you kind of gathered where I was going, because my mind is kind of empty because all of my emotions are kind of in my chest right now. Yeah. So that's Love Letters to the Dead. If you feel like sending me a message, send me a message on Cat of Diamonds anywhere on the internet, and I'll talk to you. But if you need help, again, links will be in the description of this video below the book information, that if you ask for help in the right places, your life will get better. If you can't ask for help yet, hold on. Just keep holding on and read more books, because it could help you. And with that, read more books in general. Happy reading, which is kind of weird to say at the end of this video. Don't forget to be awesome, because You are. Until next time.